I never been nothing like what you're accustomed to. Always been who I am, don't give a fuck if you feel it or not. I've been killing the slots that I'm given to enter the tier at the top. See that I'm keeping it real and ain't fearing a thing compared to the fear that I bring. I eagerly bring what they want and you wait for the moment to own it. I send my condolences. These tracks is so magical, they don't know half of what's cracking inside of my brain. The times that done changed, my homie, the weed ain't the thing. They be snorting the lines of that cane. I bring to you something that's pure and euphoric is what
What's going on, YouTube? This is Chris6, and I am here with
Scotty Pockets.
And we are about to do a top 10 for you guys. WWE, actually, I can't just say just WWE, because a lot of these guys have been crossovers in other industries, but we're going to do a top 10 for you on the top 10 men. So let's start with number 10. Number 10 is Braun Strowman, and I end up picking Braun Strowman for my list, and the reason I end up picking Braun is, I mean, he's that powerhouse, that big man. They're still pushing, you know, like I said, very few in WWE right now, and it's nice to see that they're still trying to push some big guy, and but that's the reason I end up picking Braun. He's getting a lot of good matches recently, so I foresee some good stuff out of him in the future.
Definitely. Then coming at number 9, we have Goldberg. I think he's great. I mean, I grew up, wanting to be him because he was like that superhero,
right?
That strong, like, I'm gonna save everybody and all that. The feud he had against the NWO, that was monumental.
It was epic.
Like, I mean, there's a lot of feuds and stuff like that.
Look at the last run he did with Brock Lesnar. I mean, for the guy being out of the ring for so many years and getting back in there, 13 years, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, for him to get back in there and still be as fresh as, the day you left. That was surprising. Number 8 is Kane, and the reason I end up choosing Kane really was because the Brothers of Destruction. He's currently still with the WWE. He's not that part-timer. He still gets out there and does stuff. Big spots, like I would have chose Undertaker, but, like I said, currently, Kane is actually on the roster, and you don't see much hide or hair of Undertaker, but very seldom. So that's the only reason I chose Kane instead of Undertaker.
Coming at number 7, we have Rey Mysterio, or Rey Mysterio Jr., as I grew up listening to. Because I grew up watching WCW. Fun fact, I grew up watching WCW at first. I didn't start watching WWF or WWE until after they bought them out. I was diehard WCW fan, I tell you. Like, even during the low years, like when they tried to...
During the Invasion era?
Yeah, when they had to try to find ways to freaking bring more talent over. Because all it pretty much was at that point was the NWO show, basically.
And people hate to admit it, I think, but I think Vince McMahon had an inside job on that whole thing of the destruction of WCW. I mean, I think it was all inside with sending everybody over there that he did.
Could have been.
I think Vince McMahon took out WCW because he's jealous of anything to do with competition.
So, but that. Well, hold on.
Okay.
My reasoning for liking Rey Mysterio was because he. I mean, even if you've seen the Royal Rumble appearance, I mean, he's got a great ring presence. His,
still in shape.
Still in great shape. I mean, you see how he was moving on the
right?
Feet. Yeah, like
definitely looks like old Ray. I mean, hitting that double 619 was really impressive.
I remember the time. I still remember the days of when he used to use the Frankensteiner as his finisher. That was my favorite move, other than the jackknife power or jackknife.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean,
then
jackhammer, I mean,
fucking. Ray's got just a great arsenal of moves. Hurricanrana and just great. He would be great on 205 Live if they could, get him there.
Right.
Better replacement than Enzo.
Right. I'm sure.
What are you doing?
I'm sure, though, if they really did bring him back, they wouldn't bring him back for cruiserweight title.
Probably not. They'd probably go for head. Well, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they're just trying to jazz up cruiserweight if they do, because cruiserweight's losing views left and right.
Oh yeah. Coming in at number 6, we got Shinsuke Nakamura. I mean, granted, he's still like new rather to the WWE, but I mean, God, he's been wrestling forever. I mean, I didn't really watch him very much in New Japan, but like,
the New Japan stuff is where he really built the artist known as Shinsuke.
I watched some of his matches and it was great. And then like seeing the evolution, just seeing like I watched a couple of videos of him like his evolution and stuff like that. Like he came up like a lot. Like,
he's put in the work, and it shows that he's put in the work.
My only problem though is that they didn't push him sooner.
Well, I think what it was is WWE was just a little late to pull the trigger on that because it's like the Bullet Club. I mean, they can't get the rights for the Bullet Club, so now they're trying to do the Balor Club, which I think is like a knockoff of that. And it's like just too late to pull the trigger on things. It should have been something they should have planned to do sooner.
Well, my thing is they made a big thing about him being signed. Him being signed to NXT.
Right.
Like that, he already had great momentum going in. He ended up getting the freaking NXT title. The big feud he had with Samoa Joe. And then he gets into freaking WWE on the SmackDown roster. And then he wrestles Dolph Ziggler. For no title. No title, by the way.
No title.
It was all because Dolph wanted to be an asshole and be like, who are you? Who are you? I don't know who you are. I'm Dolph freaking Ziggler. I'm the show-off.
You gotta admit, though, the Baron Corbin and Shinsuke thing was pretty good.
Yeah, but I still think he should have been pushed harder.
Well, that's WWE's issue. They drop the ball on anything NXT. They really do. I mean, look at Bo Dallas.
Yeah, Bo Dallas.
Bo Dallas was a champion. He left NXT. He was a champion, and they dropped the ball on him.
I mean, the only person I don't think they dropped the ball on was Seth Rollins. I mean, he was freaking Vince's boy from the beginning.
Yeah, well, it's like Roman though. But
yeah, yeah. Don't get me started on that.
That's for another video, you guys. All right. Number 5, I'm coming at you guys with, you've just made the list. Chris Jericho, you've made my list. But he is number 5, and the reason I chose Jericho is, the ring work that this guy has put in. The match that he had with, Kenny Omega here recently at Wrestle Kingdom.
I watched that match. That was fantastic.
I got to see bits and pieces of the highlights, but oh my God. And, Jericho's always been dedicated with character, and like anything, if he's a heel, he plays the heel to the T. If he's the baby face, he plays the baby face to the T. If you're meant to hate Jericho, he's gonna make you hate him, and that's always been his shtick. He's old school kayfabe wrestler.
Sorry to cut you off, but
that's why I like Jericho, that old school kayfabe.
I'm gonna be honest. If you wouldn't have picked him, I was gonna pick him because another wrestler, like I said, being WCW, like him in the cruiserweight division, him owning it, like the ripping of the masks and stuff like that, like so many good storylines. But you can't beat that.
But you also got to take into account, though, this man is almost 40 years old, and he's over 40. He's like in his mid 40s, and he's still doing the lion salt.
I'll tell you, I don't know what he is.
Yeah, but so Jericho just being, I think one of the top dogs of WWE for the longest time. He had that feud with China even. And, hell.
He is 47.
Okay, so he's almost 50. And he's, for a 50-year-old to still be doing a backflip off of the rope is just fucking impressive.
Not to mention, he's a well-versed person. Like, he's in music. He's successful with his band and stuff like that.
He is. He is.
You can't take away from that.
Right.
Coming at number 5, we got AJ Styles. I chose him. I haven't really followed his career a lot, but another person that also started out with WCW. As small of a stint as he had, he was still kind of working his own, and then. I've watched more matches of him in New Japan, more so than Shinsuke. And then for the little bit of time that I watched him on TNA,
I got TNA matches was
great freaking ring worker.
Right.
I think honestly, I think he's probably one of the best ring workers. Because he could work with anything. I seen a video where he botched a freaking the phenomenal forearm. And he botched the style of the phenomenal forearm, and he worked it. Like it worked.
All right.
Like nobody was mad.
You know,
Like
I heard the interview with James Ellsworth not too long ago. I think it was actually yesterday or this morning, but they were talking about the Styles and getting hit with the Styles clash. He said Styles saved his life, and he said Jericho said, "Well, how's that?" He said, "I think he put a knee down when he gave me the Styles clash, but he said I did what you can't do," and he said, and I tucked my chin. Like, funny coming from a guy with no chin, but
right.
maybe that's what saved his life. Like you said, he didn't have a chin, so. I mean, number one rule in wrestling for taking any bump is usually tuck your chin, and the Styles Clash is one of the moves that he just picks you up, and pretty much all you do is nothing. You look forward. You tuck your chin, your neck's getting broke.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Styles is the phenomenal, word of play for him for the AJ Styles, a phenomenal one. It fits him. I mean, it fits him.
I'm not a huge fan of his entrance song, but I mean
the new one. No, I liked a lot of his older stuff. Like New Japan was pretty good, but TNA was decent, better than this one. But that's okay. I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, I just like how now he definitely them pushing him. How they did was amazing. They didn't drop the ball on that one.
Well, and the thing was he didn't even have a run in NXT. He just straight to the main roster.
I mean, it's just the same thing. I'm pretty sure, like if Kenny Omega came to the WWE, even though that's a fat chance, he wouldn't be going into the NXT because
right.
I feel like AJ Styles and Kenny Omega are like up there and like what do you call
seasoned veterans of wrestling
caliber even.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're on the next level when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah, I think that AJ. I mean, just because of the fact that he's well versed, he knows how to wrestle strong, strong style. He knows how to wrestle. I mean, he has a reversal for just about everything.
Right, and then if you don't have a reversal, he improvs.
Yeah, I mean that's what you want,
right? I mean, guy that's well versed in being able to keep it on the ground and get it aerial and being able to waylay punches and get in there with the strike, but also be able to do some submissions.
I'm not a fan of him saying that he's the one that built the AJ.
The face that built this place.
Yeah, because I mean, unfortunately, I know you're going to disagree with me, but I think John Cena, John Cena's that even though The Rock created SmackDown, John Cena made SmackDown what it was.
I don't know. I'm torn between three guys here because John Cena would be one, like you said, The Rock, and then you've also got The Undertaker because there's a lot of monumental moments with The Undertaker on SmackDown. Granted, though, SmackDown back then was all pre-taped shit, but now that it's live, I think SmackDown. Honestly, I think SmackDown can outpull a lot of Raw stuff, but.
I mean, I'm definitely Team Blue for sure.
Yeah. Granted, they only got the 2-hour period.
Right, but I mean, with what they got, they do great.
Right.
Like, I mean, I wish Daniel Bryan would come back. Daniel, if you're watching this, come back. We need you.
Right. Well, that's why Team Blue has AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm.
All right, on with the next.
Go. Coming in at number 3, we got the Big Man, Big Show. Yet again, I mean, if you were to look at pretty much almost all the guys that I've had on my portion of the list, it's all WCW. I mean, for NWO, like if they wouldn't have had, Paul White in there, like I don't think they would have made it very far.
Right.
Like just because they had that presence, like he had that presence. Like, they were going off the story of him being the son of Andre the Giant. Obviously, it's not true.
Big Boss Man. I mean, you can't forget the angle of the Big Boss Man riding the damn casket down the street.
But I mean, Big Show. You got another seasoned veteran that now he basically just pushes people.
He's a talent enhancement, but I mean, look at the Monster against Monster with the Braun and him in the cage match. I mean, for that man already with hip problems as it was and knee issues as it was, he took that bump through the cage. He's took the bump through the ring. He's taken bumps off of the stage, and this man still gets up and keeps walking.
I think he's a great guy. And I mean, like, I've listened to interviews that he's done, obviously outside the ring and stuff like that. And he's a great guy. I mean, he's funny. Like, I mean,
Right.
a lot of the stuff I've heard, he's hilarious. Like, I'd like to hang out with him.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, he's just, you know, it's one thing to be just a big guy, but to demand that much, you know, respect and to do as much as he has done.
Movies. He's done
Movies, he's, you know,
TV shows. Hell, he's done other stuff I can't really fucking put my finger on right now. He did, I think The Weakest Link or something like that.
probably. But I mean, yeah, he's. I think he's probably one. You know, he's definitely going to go in the Hall of Fame. That's for sure. He's
Oh
definitely.
yeah, just when I don't know, but
Right.
he's definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame. So for number 2, I picked Stone Cold, and the reason I picked Stone Cold is he had a lot of big heat back in the day with the Vince McMahon, you know, shoots and you know, the whole McMahon family. Even I mean, he stunnered everybody in the McMahon family. Hell, the sad thing is there was actually a picture that was taken at the White House with Trump and his, you know, wife and all McMahon and everybody, you know, all the McMahons together. And like somebody had pointed out, you know, he Stone Cold stunnered every motherfucker that was in that picture. Damn near.
Right.
I mean, Trump even President Trump got the feel of it. So, I mean, Stone Cold is just like the beer truck, coming out to the ring, you know, driving the beer truck. Driving the Zamboni out to the ring.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just hell. I remember when he was the general manager one night of Raw, and he come wheeling out there at the end of Raw in the computer chair, and he gets all the way down to the end of the ramp, and he hits that spot where the mat is, and he flips over in the chair, and he's got a microphone in his hand. He starts laughing. He said, "Fuck, I'm too drunk." He had gotten so drunk during their event and all that, being GM, that, you know, by the end he was blitzed.
Well, you know, like as a personal note, like after the whole thing of WCW getting bought out, like he was the guy that kept me watching.
Right. And I think a lot of it was you didn't just have like the Stone Cold and McMahon, you had the Stone Cold and DX, you had the Stone Cold and The Rock.
Oh my God, the Rock.
Stone Cold and Mankind. I mean, there was all kinds of Stone Cold versions and whatnot. I mean, I still remember back when Stone Cold was noted as all kinds of other different names, Stunning Steve Austin, you know, back in the old independent circuits. But, you know, like, Stone Cold's been probably one of my all-time favorites, though. And
I mean, definitely.
I wished he didn't have such issues and he could get back in the ring. Instead of that little, at the 25th anniversary, of stunnering the McMahons, and that was it. But
I mean, the guy gets his neck broke off of a botch move.
and he didn't even get an apology for that shit either.
No, he didn't. And still freaking went out, like, you know, got healed up and was like, all right, it's time to go.
But the thing was, though, is if you watch that botched move, he said during that botched move, there was about 30 seconds during that he actually went paralyzed. He lost all feeling and could not move. And he said it took him a bit. He got the feeling back, and it was a pissy-ass roll-up that he did on Owen and got the win. But, you know, it was the quick kind of end the match. And, I mean, it looked piss poor. It was very bad.
Isn't that the reason why they got rid of the pile driver?
One of the main reasons, he wasn't the only one that's happened to. Hell, there was a botched move. I don't know if you remember with, oh God, what the hell was his name? D'Lo Brown, I think, and Draws. He ended up getting Draws ended up getting dropped on his head. And D'Lo thinks it was a shirt issue. Draws thinks it was his fault. And, you know, they both don't blame each other. And Draws got his neck broke. He's a quadriplegic. He's completely paralyzed. So, you know.
Man that could throw up on cue.
The man that can, the puke.
The puke. The puke.
The puke. So, yeah. All right, and number 1 is Jeff Hardy. And the reason I picked number 1, being Jeff Hardy, is just, I mean, the death-defying stunts that the man pulled off. That spot that he did on that one Raw set, the last time they used that set, and jumping off, I don't know what, fucking 50 feet, 60 feet, whatever, you know, doing that swanton off of it. A lot of them ladder matches he had with the Dudley Boys.
Christian even.
Right. And I mean, the only issue that I really actually had with Jeff Hardy was, you know, the substance abuse issues that he had. it made him a sloppy wrestler. But I mean, hell, I hate to say it, but not trying to promote substance abuse, but I understand and sympathize with the guy. A lot of them bumps that he took, that'd probably be about the only thing he made through, most of them massive bumps.
I mean, did you watch the match of him and Sting when he was drunk, like so drunk?
The match was called really quick because of that, and it was an embarrassment for Hardy, and I think that was where the wake up call was at.
It was the wake up call that he needed.
But right. My big thing, he's another one, like Jericho. He's got a band too, but not quite as successful as Jericho's, but he's got a band too. He tours on top of doing wrestling, on top of doing art. He's an artist, so, he's a jack of all trades too. But I would say, like I said, Jeff Hardy be number one.
I agree with it. I mean, I might have put Stone, if it was just me personally, I probably would have been Stone Cold. But that's just because Stone Cold is my boy.
Right.
I mean, like I said, he's the one that made me want to stay and watching WWF and all that. And Jeff Hardy, see, that's the hard part. Is like, because I really like Jeff.
Right.
I'm not really a fan of Matt.
I'm not.
You know that I haven't really been a Matt fan.
I'll tell you that whole broken gimmick, the Woken gimmick they're coming out with, the runoff from the broken thing. I don't know. I think it's starting to already become dry because it's another thing that they were late to pull the trigger on. I mean, they didn't have to strictly go with the broken. They could have done the Woken. Yeah,
but the thing is, what made the broken storyline work so well was because of the fact that it was Matt and Jeff feuding, and then Matt winning the rights to the Hardy brand, and then making him Brother Nero.
Right, but
that's what solidified the broken.
But my only issue is this, just because of Jeff not being there, and honestly, I would love to see a triple threat match with Bray Wyatt, because of the whole creepy thing that he's got. I would like to see a Woken Matt Hardy and Demon Finn Balor. That'd be a pretty good triple threat.
Who knows? They might actually come out with it.
That would be pretty lit.
I think would be kind of cool, and I mean, this is probably a really wide out there kind of thing. But if, okay, so in TNA, the thing that made the broken gimmick sound was the feud between him and Jeff. What if the same kind of feud, but it's not Jeff, because once Jeff comes back, it's already going to be Jeff is pretty much going to follow suit because everybody knows about Brother Nero.
Right.
What if he recruited Bray Wyatt? They actually recruit a couple more people to make it a stable,
make it like a Wyatt family.
Yes, and then, or you could even go with the Wyatt family, even
the Woken family.
Yeah. And then, since they're already building up the Balor Club. The clash between the Balor Club and the Woken or Wyatt family.
That'd be pretty sweet.
You cannot tell me that's not solid. That is gold. And by the way, WWE, if you use that, I want a little bit of the booty because of the fact that I brought it up. I'm just saying.
Wait. You want some booties?
Shut up.
Bootios. They keep you, not booty.
But yeah,
Yep.
I mean, honestly though, don't you think that'd be freaking?
It would be. It'd be
mind blowing.
It would be.
That would just be insane. I would probably actually get cable to watch that. Actually pay the extra $40 to get cable. I would definitely do that.
Right.
Because that would just be fantastic.
Exactly. It would be a very good storyline for a while.
Hell yeah, dude!
Better than the Randy Orton House of Horrors match.
Or
that shit was pre-filmed.
I even got you one more, one good one better.
Okay.
What if you had a Battle of New York, or that Battle of Gangs of New York kind of style? Have the Woken family, Wyatt family, Balor Club, and then maybe a Kane something with Kane. You can't tell me that.
Or the Shield.
That would be straight fire.
Right.
I mean,
that'd be mind blowing.
Mind blowing. like mind-numbing.
That'd be anything better than what the tag team division's offering right now.
Even then you could, even then you could always have like two of the gangs just for like for this sake, to have the two gangs on Raw and then have the other two on SmackDown,
right?
And then build it up to Survivor Series,
right?
Where they would be Team SmackDown versus Team Raw. But instead, it'd be like maybe they would come together. Both of them would come together to beat the rival.
Right, that'd be nice.
Like that would be just money.
It would be
money.
Vince McMahon would have money coming out of his ass cheeks. Well, he already does.
Right. I
mean, he's got a paper asshole.
But that would just, I feel like that would be that storyline. That kind of storyline you could have almost a whole year going on,
or more,
just because you would have more wrestlers in the feud, so there would definitely be like a little mini rivalries. Like you have your main rivalry with the factions.
Or could you imagine bringing the Bludgeon Brothers in on that action?
Even the Bludgeon Brothers could come up with their own staple. That would be work off the whole thing of Luke Harper being upset with Bray.
Yep.
For picking Randy Orton over him.
And that's my big thing. Like, why can't they do something like that? I mean, Bray's on he's on Raw right now, ain't he? Mm-hmm. Okay, so but the Bludgeon Brothers are on SmackDown. But why can't they do? They got another superstar shakeup coming up soon. I'm sure. So why couldn't they shake up, do like the Bludgeon Brothers over towards Raw? We get a hell of a good fucking situation going. But then the problem is I think Raw would be too dominated with all the monster teams is what it would be.
Well, that's why you'd have the two factions on each one,
right?
I mean, and like I said, one thing I feel like, since I don't watch a lot of wrestling now, but I still watch highlights on YouTube. What if at least follow the stories loop the stories of previous, and
somehow crossbreed them in between.
Yeah, even though it's been a while since the whole thing between Luke Harper and Bray, you could be he is festering. He's still upset that Bray did that.
That's why it's such the transformation with the Luke Harper and the Eric Rowan, gimmick, doing the Bludgeon Brother. Extend out your variety, WWE. That's what you need to do.
Some of those feuds that's going on,
it's running
right now,
dry. It's the same shit that they've been doing the last couple of years.
Plus, there's no build-up.
No, everything's all dead. Well, the problem is, look at the whole thing that happened with the Royal Rumble that just happened recently. We had the Raw 25th anniversary. Well, the thing was, the whole Raw 25th anniversary episode didn't help build and propel forward into Royal Rumble. It was just glorifying the fact that it was a 25th year, and it's well, you guys are doing this 25th anniversary show a week from said pay-per-view. Why are you guys not promoting for your pay-per-view? And
it's just the same thing of I've seen some videos of people being mad that the Revival got basically got manhandled by the DX by DX, and I forgot who the other tag team was.
DX,
the 25th anniversary.
It was DX and New Age Outlaws.
No, there was another tag. There was a current tag team that was the match was a Revival versus this tag team, and then DX came out and took over the show.
I can't remember. It might have been against some jobbers. I think they were wrestling against jobbers. But I just know that I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the Revival though. Again, that's a different video for another day, though.
I feel like they needed a bigger build-up.
They did. They're a lot of these gimmicks and storylines are just running so dry. That's the biggest issue. WWE. Do you know? Man, a little tidbit of information. Do you know who a lot of WWE story writers are? Ex soap opera writers. So that's the biggest issue. I mean, they were already into dry state of TV. I think soap operas are probably one of the most boring, drab things that's out there. But and so now you have creative being ex soap opera writers, and that's why our bullshit issue is. I
think we should end it.
Yeah. All right. Well, like, subscribe, favorite, share, follow us, Facebook, Twitter, follow the Chris Six Asylum. official Facebook page. Make sure you guys subscribe and like Scotty Pockets Gaming on YouTube. So check you guys later. Peace.
And cheese.